All right, so you want to know how the Ray-Ban Metas are after 6 months of having them. Well, these aren't Ray-Ban Metas. You know why? Because mine broke. So that's what's happened after owning them for 6 months. Now let me tell you a little story about this. Maybe this has happened to you, so maybe you shouldn't be going out and buying them before they actually fix what could be a defect in the design flaw. So let's get into this. Now, these are just a cheap pair of glasses I bought off Temu because I had spent 500 Australian dollars on my Ray-Bans. Well, I'd actually spent about 330 euro or something, and I'd bought them while I was on holiday in Marseille, France. But today I am talking about the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, and this is the second generation. The first generation was the Meta Stories. Now here they come in a really cool case.
A croissant in France.
What do I need to do
A good
before we
one.
get the croissant?
He needs to sign in. Finally.
Now, they assured me that they would be covered under a 12-month warranty anywhere in the world. I understand that. If you physically break something, sure. If you stand on your glasses, that's your own fault. But I had picked up a design flaw. Now, I will admit, right now, you'll notice I'm not in my normal backdrop. I'm not in my normal place. I am on holiday somewhere. Now, I've left my Ray-Ban glasses at home. Now, there's one reason for that. That's because I'm currently sending a few emails back and forth to the company saying about what this problem is. And at first, well, currently still, they denied my claim. Now, I want to talk about a few things that could possibly go wrong. Now, I've got a bunch of pictures, so I'll show you the pictures and we can explain what's going on here. Now, I'm a person that travels a lot. If you have seen my other channel, Carl Travels, or Globe Travel Adventures, or here you're watching Sony Movie Masters, or we just like to call it Movie Masters. I do a lot of tech reviews, but I also like to travel a lot. And look, before I start ragging on these Ray-Bans, I will admit they were one of my favorite things I ever bought. I loved to be able to walk around and listen to music and say like, hey Meta, play me this song. Or, hey Meta, what am I looking at? Or, hey Meta, take a photo. It was sometimes annoying to say hey Meta all the time.
Stop at better glasses. These glasses play music in my ears, which is great. But sometimes it just comes on automatically when my hair sweeps the button.
So you would press the button, and you'd press the button, and then you would press the button. Now this kind of brings me to what I'm talking about. You can just press a button here, press once. It does take a couple of seconds for it to actually take, which is a little bit of annoying. Now, when you fly, there are different changes in cabin pressure. Now, also, another thing, I was traveling a lot, and I wasn't just traveling a lot, I was traveling from Melbourne in June to then Europe, then back to Melbourne. So Europe where it's summer, then back to Melbourne where it's freezing. Then I went back to Europe again in the same month for a wedding. Then I came back to Melbourne again. Doesn't just end there. Then I went to Cairns, then back to Melbourne, then I went to Bali, then back to Melbourne, and so on and so on. And you kind of see going between these hot and cold climates, And you know what happens when you go on an airplane in a pressurized cabin, and you also know what happens when you heat up something and then you drop the temperature. So the plastic will expand, but then it will also shrink again. It will then expand and then shrink again. You'll notice, like in the pictures I'm going to show you, the amount of plastic between the button. And you can also see online here, there's also forums where this has happened to other people. It's not just me. Now, I was left dumbfounded because I'd been wearing my glasses, I'd put them down on the counter. As far as I knew, the last time I touched them, they were working. I then go to pick them up later and I noticed there's a crack in my glasses and I hadn't dropped them. So I was wondering, what the hell is going on here? Now, it actually reminded me of something that happened to me many, many years ago. So one day I go out of my house, I come home, and there is glass everywhere, all over the floor. And I thought to myself, has someone broken into my house? what had happened was the bathroom door glass had just smashed on its own, completely on its own. Now, after doing a bit of research, I found online that sometimes this can just happen. Sometimes things just buckle or break over pressure over time when you're heating things up, cooling things down, heating things up, cooling things down. Now, don't get me wrong, the insurance company fixed the shower, but I'm trying to explain this to Ray-Ban and show them there's a little design flaw. I mean, look, if you press this button enough times and you go on enough flights and you go to different, well, areas of the world where the temperature changes. I mean, when you build something, you get a warranty of a year. So it's meant to last a year. Yes, I travel a lot. Is that bad? Is that a problem? So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. This is what I think of the Ray-Ban Meta glasses after 6 months. Well, I don't have a pair anymore. Now, Ray-Ban, if you'd like to send me a new pair, that would be nice. I have asked you to. So far, I've had no response. But anyway, for the meantime, I will admit they were one of my favorite things. They reduced my screen time on my phone by at least 4 hours a day. Every time I got a message, it would just play it straight to my ears.
You are looking at a smartphone holder or camera stabilizer, glasses on the table, and some fruit in a bowl.
Every time I wanted to take a video, I wouldn't have to get my camera out anymore. I could just click the button. Yes, click the button. And I'm emphasizing on click the button because, you know, I'm putting pressure on the button. Now, if you're going to design something, maybe make the plastic a little bit thicker where the button is. Or maybe don't make it plastic, maybe make it metal. Do a bit of research. I'll point you to what's happened to me. And look, if the same thing's happened to you, please leave a comment, tell us below. What are your thoughts on them? Well, look, as I said, as the product themselves, I do really like them. There is one thing I wish it did film was vertical video instead of just portrait. Now I get they're built for like Meta and for Instagram and stuff, but you know, as a filmmaker, as a content creator, I want to film some things vertical. And I also want glasses that last. For the meantime, I'll be wearing these cheap $4 Temu glasses. Yeah, Temu. But hey, they work. Haven't broken yet. I could drop them and pick them up. Oh look, they're still working. And there's a few other people that said the same thing happened to them, and Ray-Ban gladly, well actually the company that owns it is Luxottica, gladly sent them a new one. Now I think at the end of the day, it's who you get on the other end. Some people are more helpful than others. Some people are more willing to listen. As I said, I did really like them, but until I get a new pair, I mean, I don't want to have to pay for something that I've already paid for that's under warranty. So please, Ray-Ban, do a better job, or at least, you know, make Mark III tougher in that spot. I mean, it's pretty obvious that you can see there's very little plastic between that part. Anyway, there's my rant. That's what I think of the Ray-Ban Metas after 6 months. Where are my Ray-Ban Metas? Meta, hey Meta. Fucking Meta.